Hi friends, welcome to yet another interesting and informative video. In which house is your Venus placed in the D9 or Navamsha chart? Please find out. That is very significant placement of Venus. Venus is in which house in the Navamsha, the chart of fortune, the chart of relationship. So in that chart where Venus is placed, that is very important. That will say a lot about your relationship with your partner also. It will say many things about your person, and it will also say many things about how you can gain wealth in life. So it's going to be very interesting. Definitely a lot will depend upon the zodiac sign in which Venus is placed, how the sign lord or Venus's dispositor is placed in D9 and D1. So many things will be depending on that, the aspects of other planets on Venus. So many other things are also to be taken into consideration before we can fully, come to certain conclusions about your relationship or about your wealth in this life. But nevertheless, in this video, you will get a general idea about what sort of, partner, what sort of relationship you're going to have, and also how you can gain wealth in life. So it's going to be very, very important. Do subscribe to this channel, and whatever resonates with you, you take that. And also, if you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. Look at Venus's placement in your Lagna chart. So Venus will be placed in a certain house in your Lagna. First look at that Lagna or D1 chart. And now even here we have to go deeper. We have to look at Venus's placement also in the Navamsha chart, Navamsha or D9. Let's have a look at some illustration. Friends, so this is actually just the structure of a chart. Here you have North Indian style chart. Here you have all the zodiac signs from Aries to Pisces. So all the 12 signs. First house, second house, like that. This is the 7th house of relationship, and this is the 12th house. Friends, this is the D1 chart or Lagna chart. So now this is the Navamsha chart or chart of fortune. Chart of fortune, you see. Alright, so you have to find out where Venus is placed in this chart. So this is the structure of the D1 chart. The planets are not shown here. So this is the D1 chart will look like this without the planets. The planets, all the 9 planets, or including the 3 outer planets, the 12 planets, will be located in these houses. Alright, so this is the D1 or Lagna chart. Similarly, those planets will be plotted somewhere in the D9 chart also. This is a chart of fortune. Alright, so here we see that this is a Vargottam Navamsha. Why Vargottam Navamsha? Because here you have Aries in the first house, ascendant. Here also you have Aries in the first house. In your D9 chart, there could be a different sign. So the sign which you have in the D1 chart, first house, and the sign which you have in the D9 first house, it may be same, it may be different. It can be a different sign also. So what you have to do, you have to find out where. See, I'm talking about the planet Venus. Here you see Venus is written. So these are all the planets. So Venus is written here. So where Venus is placed in the D9 chart, that's what you have to find out. Is it placed in the 7th house? Is it placed in the 11th house, or 2nd house, or 4th house? Find out where it is placed in your D9 or Navamsha chart. So today's video is all about that. So let's get started. Hi friends. So before I get started, I just want to say that today is, a very auspicious day. It's Mahashivratri today, the festival of Lord Shiva. So may Lord Shiva enable you to find your soulmate, or may Lord Shiva bless you so that you may live in harmony with your soulmate or partner. So now let's get started. So friends, what will happen if you have Venus in the first house of your D1 chart? So what results you're going to get? First house of the D9 chart or Navamsha chart, which is the chart of fortune. First, we'll talk about relationship. So now Venus is definitely the natural seventh lord. So it is a planet of relationship. So when Venus comes to the first house of your D9, that means your relationship, should be based on spiritual connection. If Venus is in good dignity, it will be a relationship which will be based on loyalty, on mutual respect. And there'll be true love, great spiritual connection with each other. And this relationship will redefine your identity, and this relationship will be something which is very important to you. It will change your fortune in this life. You will become fortunate in life because of this relationship, or because of your marriage, if Venus is in good dignity in the first house of D9 or Navamsha chart. You will be loyal to your partner also will reciprocate in the same way, and there'll be even a great connection, not just on the spiritual level, but also a great passionate connection between the two of you. So you will have great desire to be together, connect with each other even on a physical level. It's very important also to keep that passion and that desire to even be physically together, alive. That's very important. Now, if depends how Venus is placed in your first house. So if it is not so well placed, there also can be ego clashes in the relationship, or you can be impulsive in decision making, in matters of relationship. That's also possible. Now, nevertheless, the native will have a pleasing personality if Venus is more or less well placed in the first house of D9. You can have a charming look. You'll have the ability to attract people. You'll be blessed with good looks and beauty. You can also have artistic abilities, creative abilities. And you can also be somebody who loves luxury, comfort. Somebody who's very cultured, sophisticated, somebody who has refined taste in various fields. Now, what about wealth? So wealth also, we can say that I can say that you can gain wealth by dint of your knowledge, because first house is also part of the dharma trine. So by dint of your knowledge, structure, discipline, your sense of devotion towards your work, you can become successful in life and gain wealth. So it's very important to gain knowledge, acquire knowledge, or acquire some creative skills. Or if you have some creative skill, artistic ability, you need to make use of that in order to gain wealth in this life. You may also, it could be any field of work. So you can have in-depth knowledge, or you may have skills in any field of study or work. So the more you acquire in-depth knowledge, the more you acquire skills, you will become successful in life and you will be blessed with wealth. But yes, you also have to be structured, orderly, and disciplined. You must have a vision. You must be goal-oriented. You must be ready to make efforts. You must be ready to take initiative and use your creativity, originality, make use of your knowledge to gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen if Venus is in the second house of your Navamsha or D9 chart. So now your relationship will be again something, a bond which is very much based on practical considerations. That is, maybe you have also been very calculating while making that decision, related to the choice of life partner. So the decision regarding your life partner, so that decision you will make you'll make it very logically. It will be a very logic driven decision. So you will look at the practical things. That is, you will see whether because after all, second house, it has a lot of Taurus energy. So you will be very grounded, very practical in your decision. Okay, so that is one thing. And definitely you will also, the relationship can also be somehow connected with material possessions also. So maybe after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship, definitely you can become wealthy, or you can share joint resources with your partner. So material possessions are involved in the relationship if Venus is in the second house. There is some the question of money, the question of material possessions can be involved in the relationship. And you are also clinging on to each other because this is a very practical decision that you have made. And you feel that this is the choice that you have made. It has been made keeping in mind, all aspects. So you have been very, very meticulous about everything, about all details, and you have been very calculating in your decision in relationship. Now also it can show that your partner can be somebody who's very practical, very grounded, very hardworking, materialistic. It can show that also. Then what else? Venus in the second house. So after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship, you can build joint assets. You can share resources with each other, and you can build and grow your joint resources. That is also. Then your partner may definitely make use of their speech a lot. So speech will be very important in their life. So they may be into teaching. Okay, they may have to share their knowledge. So it's possible. Now, all these things. And this relationship also can be based on sensual pleasures. So sensual pleasures will be something which will bring both of you together. Okay, so and also because this relationship is somehow it's possible that in this relationship you will provide nourishment to each other. That's also possible. Okay, you will provide luxury and comfort to each other in the relationship, or that is your goal in the relationship. That is also possible. So now what about your wealth? Now you can earn wealth by dint of your efforts. Second house is part of the earth trine, the trine of hard work and efforts. So if you're hardworking, if you make efforts, if you're grounded, practical, goal oriented, then definitely you'll be able to do well in your work, and you will be able to accumulate resources in life. So you also have if you have a materialistic approach to work, then you can also gain more and more wealth. You have to look at things practically. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is in the third house of your Navamsha chart or D9 chart. Now Venus is in the third house, so relationship can be based on friendship. Third house is part of the Kama Trikona, the trine of desires, ambition. So a lot of expectations, desires pertaining to relationship. Okay, so you want to do many things with your partner. So after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship, you want to share hobbies and interests with your partner. You want to travel with your partner. Okay, so you want to do fun things with your partner, play games with them, take recourse to role playing while love making. So this relationship should be based on friendliness. Okay, there should be friendship in the relationship. So definitely if Venus is well placed in the third house, then you will be this relationship will be a friendly bond. Definitely there will be friendship. Okay, you'll be frank with your partner, and your partner also will be the same, and both of you will have great communication. So whenever you communicate with each other, you'll come closer to each other, and you'll share everything with each other. So it's like that. Now, so Venus should be more or less well placed. If it is not well placed, then there can be communication gap. Nevertheless, it can also show that your partner is very hardworking in life. They love to take initiative, they love to explore various things, they can be very skillful. Okay, also, they want to explore a variety of fields. They can have various interests also. And they can be very enterprising, they can have business acumen, very analytical, intellectual depth. So such a partner you may attract, who's very intelligent, witty, humorous. It's very important to share jokes with each other, to laugh together. All that will help you grow as friends in the relationship, and to travel together, yes. So, yeah, and also together you can achieve goals, all kinds of goals, life goals, couple goals. So what sort of wealth, how you will gain wealth in life? If you have Venus in the third house, you can gain wealth from any field, third house of D9 chart, any field of work which is connected to communication, use of communication skills, or any kind of skills, creative skills, any skills which involves the extensive use of hands. So, or any kind of creative skill, artistic skill. So that can definitely enable you. So it will enable you to gain wealth in life. You can gain wealth with the help of your business acumen. So you could be into marketing, networking, you could be an agent, commission business, you could be into any sort of work which involves traveling. So all that will enable you to gain wealth. Expression of your thoughts is very important. So communication, whether you do it in the form of writing, journalism, or whether you do it in the form of in any other form, it could be painting. Okay, so yeah, so all that you could be someone who's into sculpture, into the field of sculpture also. So all that, so all these things we can say. Even you can be involved in any sports, that's also possible. So that can enable you to gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is connected to, Venus is in the 4th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. So Venus in the 4th house will show that Venus is your relationship. That this relationship, if Venus is in more or less good dignity in the 4th house of D9, so this relationship will be based on mutual concern. Okay, a desire to take care of each other, provide nourishment to each other. So relationship will be based on that. You can be very motherly to your partner. Your partner also may bestow motherly affection upon you. So all that. Your partner may be somebody who may be introduced to you by your mother, or your partner may be someone who belongs to your family circle in some way, somehow connected to your family only, or somehow somebody who belongs to your hometown. That's possible. Okay. Now, nevertheless, your partner, will be somebody who is actually going to be the pillar, one of the strongest pillars of your house. So you can't think of a home without your partner. So they are going to be the real homemaker. Okay, it's possible. Now, relationship actually, ideally, it should be based on, mutual love, affection, and concern, and the desire to provide nourishment and comfort to each other. So if Venus is well placed, you will get such results. Now, also we can say that Venus is in the 4th house. So traveling is a very good thing, because after all, this is part of the moksha trine, but here we have the sign of Cancer in the chart of the cosmic man, the 4th house. So traveling with the partner is a very good thing. It will improve the relationship that you have with your partner. Yes, there can be ups and downs in the relationship. Sometimes you will be able to emotionally connect with each other. Sometimes you won't be able to connect. After marriage, or after you're into a committed relationship, you can build assets. Your assets can grow. Okay? You can buy property, land, and there can be growth in your assets. After you, marry that person, it's possible. So all these things we can say about relationship. Now, emotionally, sometimes you might get distanced from each other, while sometimes you'll be very close to each other. So there can be highs and lows, ups and downs, various phases can be there in the relationship, because 4,000 energy, we cannot forget the cosmic man energy. So here you have the moon energy there. So ups and downs in the relationship is possible. So it's very important to sacrifice your happiness for the sake of your partner. When you do that, when you're compassionate, when you let go of small things, let go of follies, each other's mistakes also, if you can ignore them to some extent and forgive each other, then this relationship is going to work and it's going to stand the test of time. So all these things we can say. Now let's talk about your wealth. You can gain wealth from any creative field, any artistic field. Like you could have creative skills, artistic ability. You can make use of your intuition. Okay, you could. Fourth house is the house also of your homeland and people. So if you maintain good relationship, good image, among the people, then it will be good for you. You can gain wealth. Even better. It will be easier for you to gain wealth in life. Maintaining good relationship with people around you is important for gaining wealth. You can be a healer. You can be somebody who's into healing. Okay, even counseling. So you could be into. You can earn wealth from, any profession or work which is connected to nursing others, helping others, or serving others. It could be any field of work. So that feeling of compassion is very important. Or it could be any field of work in which you are doing in-depth research, investigation, that can also enable you to gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is in the 5th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Navamsha is the chart of your fortune. So what will happen? So here Venus in the 5th house of D9, it can show that your marriage was a love marriage, or maybe you got married to somebody whom you really love. If Venus is in good dignity in the 5th house, you will definitely have a say in your marriage. Or whenever you come into a relationship, it will be because you wanted to be in that relationship with that partner. So because you got attracted to that partner, there is attraction, there is romantic connection in this relationship, definitely. Now, Venus in the 5th house. So if it is in good dignity, you can become prosperous after you're in a relationship, committed relationship with this person, or after marriage. You can become prosperous in life. You can become fortunate in life. You can gain, recognition in public also. If your person is somebody, your person also may be someone who has social recognition, or who has name and fame. Then by dint of your marriage, after your marriage, you can also be somebody who will win public, recognition. You will have social recognition and your name and fame will grow. It's possible. That is also possible. Now Venus in the 5th house can show that even your partner can be somebody who is knowledgeable. If you're a female native, then you yourself also can be someone who's very knowledgeable. So in the case of male native, Venus is definitely the life partner. In case of female natives, Venus stands for the relationship that you share with your partner. So Venus is relationship for both male and female natives. So we can say that you will attract a partner, whether you're male and female. So you will definitely get connected to somebody, connected with somebody who has knowledge. That will be true in both the cases, male and female natives. So someone who has knowledge, someone who has true love, selfless, unconditional love for you. So then only you will want to be in a relationship with that person. So that is very important. If Venus is not so well placed, there can be ego clashes in the relationship. It is very important to have mutual respect for each other. It is very important to even respect each other's space while being loyal, faithful, dedicated, devoted to each other. It is a very beautiful romantic connection as well as a spiritual bond. Okay? But that, spark of romance should also remain alive. So traveling with your partner, so, and doing fun things with your partner. These things also, definitely being friendly with your partner, sharing hobbies and interests with your partner, these things also can improve your relationship. So it's very important to have a relationship which involves a lot of sharing, laughter. Then this relationship will really be successful if Venus is in the 5th house of your Navamsha chart, and you can be fortunate because of this relationship, and both of you can prosper together in life and even move towards name, fame and recognition. Now, all these things we can say. Now, what about your wealth? You can gain wealth in life by dint of your knowledge. 5th house is part of the Dharma trine. Okay, so by dint of your knowledge, definitely you can gain wealth. By dint of your creative skills, you may have any sort of creative abilities, creative skills. So by dint of your creativity, by dint of your knowledge, you can gain wealth in life. So yeah, the more you acquire knowledge, the more you gain creative skills, or acquire creative skills, you will be able to gain knowledge. So it is very important to take initiative. It's very important to be self-confident, okay, so that you can be independent in life and you can attain your own identity in life, okay, because you really love your sense of self-esteem. You have a high sense of self-esteem also, okay. So it's possible if Venus is in good dignity in the 5th house. So it is very important for you to make efforts along a meaningful direction, to make use of your knowledge and creativity to gain wealth. The education which you have acquired, your education also can enable you to gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen if Venus is in the 6th house of the D9 or Navamsha chart. So Navamsha is a chart of fortune. Venus has come to the 6th house. We know that 6th house is generally, in the Navamsha chart, it will be the problems, the all trials, tribulations, the suffering, even litigations, court cases maybe, or maybe the loans that you have taken, or the enemies, diseases, troubles, all that, challenges in life, obstacles, all that we see from the 6th house, which you have to encounter after marriage, okay. Now if Venus, or after you're in a committed relationship, now if Venus is in the 6th house of Navamsha, then definitely your relationship can be connected to any of these things, okay. Maybe after marriage you had to take a huge loan for some reason, okay. After marriage, the 6th house matters are getting activated. That's possible. You may develop rivalry with some people, okay, and they may turn into your enemies, and those enemies can try to harm you, or you may enter into conflicts with people, even with your rivals or even your colleagues. It's possible, because 6th house is also the house of your workplace. So if Venus is not in good dignity, then these things can happen. You can land in a lot of problems after marriage, because 6th house is also the house of natural debilitation of Venus. So it shows that you can gain luxury and comfort in life if you really make a lot of efforts. For that you have to struggle a lot. You have to struggle against adversities, challenges. So you have to struggle against your enemies, rivals, colleagues, so that you can establish yourself. But if Venus is in good dignity in the 6th house, you will be able to maintain a cordial relationship even with your rivals, even with your colleagues. There will be a very cordial relationship, and you will be appreciated also at your workplace. If it is in good dignity, you will get good results. But if it is not in good dignity, then definitely there can be problems in gaining wealth in life. Now, nevertheless, we can say Venus is in the 6th house, so at times there can be conflicts with your partner. If you are again in relationship also, you have to go on making efforts. If you do not make proper efforts in relationship, then there can be conflicts with the partner. You may take each other for granted, and you can land up in quarrels, conflicts, fights, which can make the relationship very bitter, okay. there can be a lot of bitterness in the relationship, which can again signal trouble. So that means if there are lots of fights and there is a lot of bitterness in the relationship, then it may even be very difficult for the relationship to remain meaningful then. Okay, so be careful. So if Venus is in the 6th house, never take your partner for granted and do routine things in your relationship. That is, even love making should be done in a routine way. Doing things on a routine basis, that is, taking your partner out or going out together on dinner date every weekend, or doing something special every weekend, or whenever there is a festival, celebrating it together in some way. So making efforts in the relationship and analyzing what is going wrong, why, if there are conflicts, then why they are happening. So you have to figure out. If your partner is connected to your workplace, then it's good for the relationship. If they're assisting you in your daily work, then it's very good for the relationship. How will you attain wealth? You can attain wealth only by dint of your efforts, hard work, okay, by dint of your analytical skills and intelligence, your intellectual depth. So definitely you can have great analytical powers, okay, so that will enable you to gain wealth in life. Also, wealth may come from any of these sectors: service sector, legal sector, or healthcare sector. So it's possible wealth may come from any of these sectors, but you will gain wealth only when you have a tendency to serve others also. So when you have a tendency to work hard, when you're working at an office or at an organization, so you are serving, no? You're serving the organization. So that desire to serve should be there. So then only you will be able to gain wealth. Okay? So all these things you have to remember. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is in the 7th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Venus in the 7th house of partnership. So 7th house can show the kind of partnership that you're going to have after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship. You know that it can also show that you can travel to a foreign land after marriage. So all that is going to be very important, very meaningful or very positive for the relationship. If after marriage you travel to a foreign land, or if your partner only is from a foreign culture, it's very good for the relationship. Nevertheless, this relationship will be based on healthy give and take. If Venus is well placed in the 7th house, there'll be healthy give and take. So if you make efforts in the relationship, you will also expect your partner to make efforts. So there has to be give and take. There has to be healthy communication. There has to be friendship. Okay, there has to be frankness, transparency. And also, it is very important to travel together. It is very important to do fun things together. Your partner may belong to your social circle. It's possible. Okay, through various social interactions, or it could be even through, social media. So maybe you met your partner there. That's possible. So, yeah, while interacting with people, through your social interactions, you met your partner. That is possible. Now, all these things we can say about relationship. You can gain wealth. How will you gain wealth now? What else about relationship? This relationship will be based on very healthy partnership, and also there will be a lot of physical attraction in the relationship. Physical connection, healthy sexual relationship is very important. Okay, if Venus is in the 7th house of your D9 chart. So healthy intimate life is important. Otherwise, no, there can be problems in the relationship. So all these things we can say. And your partner also can be somebody who's social, somebody who believes in maintaining harmony and balance in relationships and various things. It's possible. So all these things we can say about your relationship. Now, you can gain wealth. How will you gain wealth? You can gain wealth through any sort of interaction with people. So you could be into counseling. You could be into any sort of work which is connected to traveling. So, okay, So any work which involves dealing with people. You could also be into trading. You could be into you could have your own independent business where you deal with your customers, or you could be into partnership business. So all that. You could be in the profession of law. I mean, from the profession of law or the legal sector also you can gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen. So 7th house is part of the karma trine. So trine of desires, lots of expectations pertaining to gaining wealth, lots of expectations and desires pertaining to relationship also. So you need to fulfill all those expectations, okay, by dint of your your ability to interact with people well, so that you maintain good social connections, you have good networking, okay, you should have good interpersonal skills, you should be intelligent enough to deal with people. Then definitely you'll be able to gain wealth in life and be successful. And with your partner also, you have to deal with them also in a very balanced and harmonious way. Then this relationship will be successful. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus will be in the 8th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Navamsha is a chart of fortune. Venus in the 8th house. 8th house is part of the Moksha trine. It's very important to be compassionate to each other, to forgive each other, to let go of things which can be overlooked, and to forgive each other. It's very important to sacrifice your happiness for each other. Only then the relationship will last. It's also important to maintain great. Now it depends on how Venus is placed. If it is well placed, you will have an intense, passionate, deep-rooted, intimate sexual connection with your partner. You'll have healthy, intimate life with your partner. Very intense, passionate sexual connection which will enrich your conjugal life. So that's important. If now Venus is in the 8th house, it can also show that you are very secretive about your relationship, about the kind of relationship that you should have with your partner. You may be very secretive about that, or you may maintain some secretive relationship outside marriage. It can also show that. Now that will depend on the overall dignity of Venus in your individual chart. So Venus in the 8th house of your D9 or Navamsha. So your relationship should be based on transparency. It should be based on serious commitment. Loyalty is very important. Okay. So then only this relationship will last. There has to be great physical connection, sexual attraction also, and great intimate life. Okay, then eventually you will also develop a spiritual connection with each other. So all that. So then only your relationship will last. Your partner may have a very magnetic personality. If you're a female native and Venus is in the 8th house, then you yourself can have a very attractive, magnetic personality, in the sense that there is something very secretive about certain dark features that you have. It's possible. Now in the case of a male native Venus in the 8th house, it will show the partner. In case of female, it can show the female native herself. So all these things, but nevertheless your partner will whether you're a male or female, because Venus is the natural 7th lord also, your partner will have will also be somebody who's secretive in an attractive way. It's possible, but again it depends how Venus is placed. Okay, and you may get so much attracted to your partner. Now what about your partner may belong to a totally exotic land or foreign land. That's also possible, where the culture is totally different. Now if there is lack of sexual compatibility, or if there is no desire to make efforts or sacrifice your happiness for your partner, so if that sense of surrender is missing, then what will happen? No, eventually there can be a distance will set in, and then the two people, they may get even distance from each other. That can also unfortunately happen. If total surrender, if total transparency and great intense passionate connection is not there, then they may get distance from each other, and even the relationship might come to an end. That is also possible, depending on the dasha that you're running. Now how you can gain wealth? Definitely you can gain wealth from going to the depth of things through research, investigation in any field, whether it's a field of technology, occult, healing, spiritual practices, whether it is chartered accountancy, investments. You can gain money from any of these fields. You can be into psychology. any of these fields you can gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is in the 9th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Navamsha is a chart of fortune, and Venus is here in the 9th house. 9th house is also the is the house of fortune only. So Venus is in the house of fortune in the chart of fortune. Wow, that means you can be very fortunate because of this relationship that you're in. Provided Venus is not afflicted, then this relationship or marriage will bring a lot of, good fortune into your life, and you can be fortunate. There'll be a lot of growth and expansion in your life because of this relationship, partnership, or marriage. And you may also attract somebody who belongs to a foreign culture into your life, or your partner may be somebody who loves to explore foreign cultures, or both of you will together visit foreign lands, and you will explore the world together, and you will definitely travel together, and that will also improve your relationship. Okay, so all these things we can say. Relationship will be very successful if there is true love, selfless love, and devotion and dedication to each other. That's very important. It's very important to be loyal to each other. It's very important to have mutual respect in the relationship. Then only this relationship will be successful if you have Venus in the 9th house of the D9 chart. Selfless love, and also there has to be mutual respect. Respecting each other's space is important, but again, being loyal to each other is important. All right. And otherwise, if Venus is not so well placed in the 9th house of D9, there can be ego clashes in the relationship. Okay, so there can be problems. So it's very important to respect each other. So respect each other's principles, value systems also. Now, all these things, and traveling together is a very good thing for the relation, exploring the world together. Okay, so you may attract a partner who is knowledgeable, who has knowledge, who loves to explore the world, who's adventurous. You may attract such a partner into your life. Now, how will you gain wealth in life? You will gain wealth in life by dint of your optimism, by dint of your knowledge, higher knowledge. Okay, you have to be optimistic about things in life. You have to have faith in the divine, and you'll have to gain knowledge and do your duty. That will enable you to become prosperous and gain wealth in life. You can gain wealth by dint of your knowledge, by dint of your creative abilities. You can be into counseling, teaching, healing. So any of these fields will enable you to gain wealth. You can also be in the profession of law, also can enable you to gain wealth for that matter. So you could be any sort of counselor, teacher, or even healer. You could be into religious practices, and you can gain wealth from those religious practices as well. So you can acquire knowledge, higher knowledge, any sort of higher knowledge, or you may acquire certain skills, and they will enable you to become wealthy in life. So now let's move on to what will happen when Venus is in the 10th house of your D9 chart or Navamsha. Navamsha is a chart of fortune. Now Venus is in the 10th house. So 10th house, if Venus is in good dignity, it can show that the relationship will be based on mutual responsibility. There'll be a sense of duty for each other. Okay, and both of you are accountable to each other for everything. So the decision that you made in your relationship can be very practical also, very practically well thought out decision. It's possible, or it could be applied to your partner. So it's possible that this, or maybe both of you are engaged in do some work together. So if you're doing some work together, it's very good for the relationship. So somehow if your profession is connected, it's very good, and helping each other in your work is a very good thing for the relationship. Okay, so because of your partner or because of this marriage or relationship, you can gain name, fame, social recognition, social status, and you can gain good reputation in society. That's also possible. Now but yes, your partner may at times be, but if Venus is not in good dignity, then this relationship, no, there can be some unequal power dynamics. That is, the power dynamics in the relationship could be a little disturbing. Okay, unfair play of power can be there in the relationship if Venus is not so well placed in the 10th house. One of the parties may tend to dominate the other. It's possible they may try to control the other, and they may dictate things to the other, so that can make the relationship bitter, and then unfortunately, no, there can, a distance can set in. So that is a problem. So it's very important that this relationship, no, when you have Venus in the 10th house, relationship should be based on mutual responsibility. Okay, you have to be responsible towards your partner. You have to take their responsibility. So that is, you have to treat them fairly and justly. So they deserve fair treatment, just treatment from you. You treat them fairly, they will also treat you fairly and justly. That is very important. Never do any injustice to each other. If Venus is not so well placed, then there can be some injustice done to one of the parties in the relationship. It's possible. So it's very important to see to it that none of the parties or tries to dominate the other. So that domination should not be there. Otherwise there will be problems in the relationship. Otherwise, if there is mutual responsibility, if there is that treating each other justly and fairly, then definitely this relationship will last, and this relationship should be based on long-term commitment also. So long-term commitment is important. So in this relationship, you should never give up on each other. Go on making efforts, because 10th house, after all, part of the Earth trine. Go on making efforts in the relationship. Be accountable to each other. Take responsibility of each other, and you will see this relationship will finally turn into a very committed long-term relationship, a lifelong relationship. So yeah, now how will you gain wealth in life? You can gain wealth because this is part of the Earth trine, 10th house. You can gain wealth definitely through your profession, through your hard work. Okay, it is your hard work, your efforts. You have to be grounded, practical, goal oriented. You have to be very much task oriented. You can be materialistic also, definitely. When it comes to gaining wealth, you have a very materialistic approach to things. You believe in results, you believe in your efforts, you believe in structure, you believe in order. So actually when you're structured, orderly, actually when you're disciplined, when you are goal oriented, all these qualities, when you have great managerial skills, these abilities, you should have great managerial organizational skills. They will enable you to gain wealth in life. You can gain from any field of administration. You can gain wealth from managerial positions. Okay, so definitely. All right, so somehow if 10th house is connected to Rahu, either in D1 or D9, you can also gain wealth from politics or administration. So yeah, all these things, even technology, you can gain wealth from there. Now let's move on to what will happen if Venus is in the 11th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Venus in the 11th house, the house of gains, social circle. So definitely your person may be connected to your social circle. Your person maybe you got married to one of your friends, or your friend's friend, or friend's acquaintance, somebody who belongs to your either social circle or even social media circle. That's also possible. Social media. We live in this age of social media. So we are more social to people who interact with us on social media. So maybe your partner, you met your partner through social media. That's also possible. Or through one of your social connections. So Now this relationship should be based on friendship, frankness. There will be definitely, if there is friendship, if there is frankness, there will be great physical compatibility also, and both of you will come together to achieve so many things together in life. Okay, so you will help each other to fulfill your respective goals. You will also move together, you collectively, both of you as a team will move together towards achieving couple goals, okay, after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship. So you will want to travel the world together, you'll want to be friends with each other. If Venus is in good dignity in the 11th house of the D9, then we can say such things about your relationship. So many desires, expectations pertaining to relationship, that after the arrival of my partner in my life, I'll do this, that and what not with them. I'll travel the world with them, explore the world. I'll do so many things with them. I have so many goals. I have so many, desires are there which are unfulfilled, and all those desires will be fulfilled once my person enters into my life. So such thoughts can be there when Venus is in the 11th house of your D9 chart. If it is in good dignity, definitely you'll be able to fulfill all those unfulfilled desires, expectations, wishes. Everything will be granted and fulfilled after your partner enters into your life. So you'll be fortunate enough to attain that wish fulfillment in this life. Okay, so nevertheless, what else I can say, this relationship will last if there is friendship, if there is transparency, if both of you help each other in reaching goals, certain goals in life, whether they are individual goals, whether they're couple goals. You should help each other, and you should share certain interests and hobbies. So all that will improve the relationship. Now let's see how you can gain wealth in life. Definitely you can gain wealth in life. This 11th house is part of the karma trine, the trine of desires, expectations. But then you can fulfill your desires and expectations only if you believe in your efforts, initiative. You have to take initiative. So definitely you will become successful in life. Venus will bless you, that is, you will gain wealth in life. If you are ambitious, you have to be ambitious in life, then you will gain wealth. Just being ambitious is not enough, but you have to move meaningfully towards your ambition. Okay, you have to make efforts. You will have to be intelligent enough to deal with work, to deal with whatever work you do. You have to deal with everything by dint of your intelligence, analytical abilities, because after all you have the Aquarius energy in the 11th house. So it is your ability to do research, investigation, or you could be into technology. So any of these fields can enable you to gain wealth in life. It is your ability to form meaningful social connections, okay, to do proper networking with people. So all that also can make you wealthy in life. Okay, you can, through social media, technology, or following, you can gain wealth in life. That is also possible. So yeah, all these things we can say, but nevertheless you have to remain ambitious and you have to go on moving towards your ambition meaningfully. Now let's move on to what will happen, the final placement, if Venus is placed in the 12th house of your D9 or Navamsha chart. This is the chart of fortune, and Venus is placed in the 12th house. 12th house is the house of Venus's natural exaltation. Okay, so Venus is placed there. What can we say? We can say that your relationship, your relationship will be again a relationship which is definitely a very spiritual connection, or a very selfless connection, a bond which is based on selfless love, unconditional love. Okay, complete surrender to each other. That is what is required. Devotion, in fact. You should be devoted to each other when Venus is in the 12th house of your D9. Here Venus exalts actually in the 12th house. So total devotion, having total faith in each other, and total surrender to each other is required. So that is a spiritual connection. And when you totally surrender to each other, there can also be great You can also have great physical compatibility or even sexual compatibility. Now, the sexual act after you are married to each other, so after marriage, the sexual act is also something which is considered to be a spiritual act. Okay, so spiritually connected in every way, whether on the physical level, whether on the level of taking care of each other, whether on the level of sacrificing your happiness for the other person. So you're always connected to each other spiritually because you trust each other deeply. But again, if Venus is not so well placed in the 12th house of D9, there can be trust issues in the relationship. There can be difficulty in maintaining healthy intimate life. There may not be proper intimacy. If there is no proper intimacy, whether emotional intimacy, whether physical intimacy, then what will happen? You can get distanced from your partner. But nevertheless, if Venus is in the 12th house of D9, you may get into a relationship with somebody who belongs to a foreign culture. Then it's very good. Or after marriage, you can travel to a foreign land. Or after you're in a committed relationship, you can travel to a foreign land with your partner and settle down there. Okay? Or your partner may belong to some foreign culture. That's very good for the relationship. Because Venus is in the 12th house, which is connected to foreign lands. Okay? Your partner may be somebody who's very intuitive, creative, and somebody who's very thoughtful, even spiritual. If you're a female native, you yourself can have these qualities. Now, this relationship will last if there is a great, sexual compatibility, and also if there is eventually this relationship, will move towards a deep spiritual connection. But it is very important to have compassion for each other. It's very important to forgive each other, to let go of small follies, to forgive each other and come together and move on. And also you should not idealize things in your relationship. If Venus is not so well placed in the 12th house, then you may tend to idealize things about your relationship. That's so that your partner may exist only in your imagination or only in your dream world. And the real person, the real flesh and blood person, will always fall short of your imagination. Because nobody is perfect. Nobody can be an ideal image of anything. Is not it? Because we are all flesh and blood human beings with follies, with our own shortcomings, weaknesses. We have strengths, we may also have weaknesses. So you have to learn to accept your partner as they are. You have to be compassionate to them, and you have to be forgiving. You have to have this tendency to sacrifice your happiness for their sake. Then only this relationship will last, and it will turn into a meaningful connection if you have Venus in the 12th house of your D9 chart. Alright, so all these things about relationship. Now, how can you gain wealth? Definitely you can gain wealth from any field of in-depth research, study or investigation. Okay, it could be any field of research, investigation. It could be any field of occult, healing practices, spiritual practices, religious practices. From any such practices you can gain wealth. Okay, through counseling activity or through counseling profession. You can be an independent counselor. You can impart knowledge to others. You can also believe in charity. Okay, you may also believe in charity. You may also believe in helping the downtrodden if Venus is in the 12th house. Now, how will you gain wealth? You can gain wealth whenever with the help of your creative skills. You may have some creative skill, artistic ability. You may gain wealth from that. Okay, any sort of creative skill. Or you can be somebody who has deep knowledge about something, very deep knowledge, and you can gain wealth because you're sharing your deep knowledge with others. It's possible. So you could be into counseling, healing, even psychology. You could be into investments. You could be into any sort of investments. You can gain wealth from that. From coding, language, technology, etc. Also you can gain wealth. You can gain wealth from, as I told you, any sort of investments, analysis, chartered accountancy. So wealth may come from any field of analysis, research, investigation. Okay, or any field of creativity. Wealth may come from any of these avenues. Alright, so when you have Venus in the 12th house of D9, it is very important to make efforts to go to the depth of things, analyze things, do proper research, investigation, so that you gain knowledge, you gain healing abilities or knowledge, or so that you acquire certain skills, and with the help of those skills or with the help of your knowledge, you can gain wealth. So yeah, all these things. And you can also be more prosperous if you move to a foreign land. If your work is connected to foreign land, if you have foreign connections, if you're working for a foreign based company, if you deal with a lot of foreign clients, you can gain wealth. So wealth may come from foreign lands. That's also possible. Or if you settle down in a foreign land. So friends, that was my take on what will happen if Venus is placed in all the different 12 houses of your D9 or Navamsha chart. Do let me know what you think about it in the comment section. And friends, do subscribe to the channel. If you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. And before I wind up, be kind to all animals, birds, creatures. They too have the right to live, okay, like we do. And try to be a vegetarian, okay friends, and be kind to people, be charitable to people in orphanages and old age homes. So see you next time, friends. Take care. Thank you.